be strong in this time, son. I'm a survivor. I will survive. I will survive. And I'm a firm believer. We'll forever strive just to stay alive. That simple means say nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can turn me sick. I will let alone negativity. Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can. Nobody can. Everybody show me some strength. No weakness. Show me a lion come. Strength. No weakness. Show them who we are. Strength. No weakness. Show me a lion come. Everybody strength. No weakness. Show them who we are. Not when you roll. Your enemies, they must tremble. Your enemies, they must tremble. Yo, not when you roll. Everything has to humble. Everything has to humble. I'm a go-getter.
David Williams Funeral Service serve you with dignity and compassion as you mourn. Every day, we embark on the journey of life, and one day, the journey will end. It's on that day that you can entrust the celebration of life of your loved ones to David Williams Funeral Service. Call 718-291-3823.
I'm a survivor. I will survive. I will survive. And I'm a firm believer.
What's up, ride along? Welcome to the ride. Welcome to Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday on the ride. Waggo, how are you doing? How are you doing? Yeah. It's Tuesday. As we say, as you're coming, go ahead and share up the thing. Press share. Tag someone. Tag someone. Yeah. Tag someone. Put it on somebody's page. Put it in a group, because today, this story is gonna blow your mind. This story is one of those stories that is so traumatic, right? It is gonna freaking blow your mind. I promise you. I had to listen to that young lady tell me that story a couple times to really get it, because
nobody can hold me.
Nah. No. That's gonna be your reaction. Let me make sure you guys hear me properly. Make sure you guys hear me, seeing me. Everything is fine on your end. Deanne Fraser, big up yourself. Thank you so much. Yvonne, give me a thumbs up if everything is going well on your guys' side. Let me know if you guys are hearing everything fine. Let me know if you're seeing everything fine. Just give me a thumbs up, guys. Just give me a thumbs up. Just give me a thumbs up. Let me know. Yeah, let me know if everything is sounding good on your side. Alright, we good? Janelle, we good? Alright, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Guys, so let me tell you something. I ain't wasting much time on the introduction today, right? Because I don't know where to start with this one. Because you know, sometimes when you think you heard it all, right? When you think you heard everything there is to hear, when you think that there's no other story that will make you go, what? You get another one. Now my next guest, she's an author, currently an author. And her situation became so traumatizing for her mental state. She had about two options. She can share it with us, but I'm just giving you a prelude. She could either go crazy with what she experienced, or 3, go crazy, suicide, or she could have picked up the pen and write about it. She chose a ladder. Ah boy. I want to introduce you guys to my next guest. Her name is Author. Her name is Q. She is an author. She's going to be known today on the program as Author Q. And let's bring her on the program because she have a story to tell. Author Q. Can
Hi.
I can I
Hi,
call can I
everyone.
call you that, or
Yeah,
you want,
sure.
I could call you Author Q?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Author Q. Wow, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great.
You're doing great.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm happy that you in that frame of mind because when my producer Lois JJ told me that we would be speaking with you, my jaw dropped. I was like, what? What? She what? And I got a chance to speak to you earlier. I didn't hear the whole story purposely because I wanted to listen in live with everybody else when everybody else is hearing everything.
Yes.
So let us start from the beginning. Tell us about a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, just a little bit about Q.
I grew up in Orangeburg, South Carolina. I don't know if you guys know that. It's a very small country town, low country area. Born and raised there. Spent my most of my life there. I moved from Orangeburg about 19 years ago after I had my two sons and I lost my brother in a tragic car accident. I felt like all hope was gone because I had been suffering from some secret abuse and I up and left that long ago. And I've been here ever since.
Right, right. Take us back to your childhood. You could start back. I mean, I'm just going to open up and I want you to just give us a chronological step of your childhood growing up. Take us back to that. Go ahead.
I was a typical little girl who had dreams, but since we were from a small country town, we couldn't talk about that much. You know, you just had to do what you had to do from this day to that day. But telling your parents your dreams just kind of went out the window. For me, my father, he was just so overprotected. So me wanting to sing and act and do all of those things was just too much for him. He was definitely gonna say no. And my mother, she just never even really showed any interest in any of our dreams. So I wanted to sing, I wanted to act, I wanted to do a lot of things that I wasn't able to speak about. But my little brother and I grew up very tight, and he believed in me. So I started sneaking around going to the studio once I got old. I think I was about 13, 14 at that time. I started sneaking around going to the studio, just doing little hooks for different people. But it got serious for me when I turned about 15. My brother started sneaking me out of the window and taking me to a studio that wasn't too far from the house, but making sure that I got back in before it was time for us to get up for school. So I was singing and writing my own songs and everything. For a couple of years, my mother never paid it any attention at all. My grandmother, she was interested in it, but being as though she was taking care of all of us, she couldn't really be there for me and support me like that. And of course, like I told you earlier, my father, he just was not going to go for me wanting to sing at such a young age or be in the studio around guys much older than me, possibly having to miss school because he wanted us to have an education. So I started. My mother knew that I wanted to sing, but she just never came to me and actually said that you're gonna be a singer someday, or just keep on. It was always shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, girl. You need to stop thinking about singing. Oh, honey, stop. That don't sound good. It was always a put down. I thought that she was gonna show interest. Like later on in life, she started acting like she wanted to show interest, but that's only because at that time our next door neighbor was her best friend. And he saw that my brother was sneaking me out of the window and find out where I was going at night. So he ended up telling my mom. And my mom decided to come at me from an angle. Well, when I first started at 13, before she knew I was really, really into music, I'm gonna rewind it back. I'm sorry, you guys. She met a family friend that was coming around all the time. And that family friend was very close to the family. I even liked him a lot because he showed me more attention than she did when my father wasn't around. So I actually liked him, and my grandmother would send us on store
So
runs.
that family friend, male family friend,
Hmm.
um, was he a close friend of, very close friend of your mom?
He was a close friend of the family, and to him and my mom got a little closer.
When you say they got a little closer, because you said that your mother and father were still involved.
Absolutely.
So your mother and this family friend got a little closer.
Absolutely. They did. They ended up having a secret relationship behind my dad's back. And
Oh,
he would still come over to the house and still sit with us, still eat with us, still spend nights and everything like nothing ever happened. And till this day, I know that my oldest sister know about it because she recently asked me about it. And I don't think that any of the family, my grandmother knew about it, and a few of my aunts knew about it, but no one never told my dad. Now,
so
what
your dad never suspected that the close family friend is kind of messing with his wife?
No, not at all, because the guy was much younger.
Oh,
And he was actually a friend of the family. He was actually my mom's nephew best friend.
okay, okay, all right, okay. So go ahead. From that, they became a little closer. Go ahead.
Yeah,
From
so I assumed they became a little closer. And because I started noticing that she would fuss back with my dad more because her and my dad would argue a lot because he would drink a lot. But he had his reasons that I'll tell you later on why, it's she's so quick to call my father alcoholic or say he was an alcoholic. But we'll talk about that later. But they got a little closer, but I noticed that my mom would fuss back a lot and she would kind of dress different, and she still didn't pay any of us any attention because my grandmother raised us. Even though she was in the house, she was just a body in the house. My
right,
all the credit goes to my grandmother. So she would, started doing her hair different or whatever. And then she knew that I wanted my hair done because I was getting bullied in school because my hair was never done. My hair was never done. My oldest sister, thank God, she knew how to do hair, and she would do her own hair. My mom was a stylist back then. She would do everybody hair in the neighborhood, but when it came to her daughters, we always got shortchanged. But she knew that I wanted her to do my hair and pay more attention to me. She knew that I would do anything for her to love me or at least look into the things that I was interested in life. Even if it was just to ask me if I did my homework, if I had any homework, because those are some things that she never asked. So she knew that. So I guess her and this guy started dating, and they had been dating for a while before I knew of it. But
mm,
one day she came to me and she says, I want you to go somewhere with me tomorrow and I'll do your hair. So she knew that that was like, okay, I'm going to go wherever she want me to go because she's going to do my hair. Getting my hair done back then was something that was a wow for me because it never happened. It
right,
didn't happen often. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say it never happened. It did, but it didn't happen often. But it was always a twist to that when it did happen as well. So um, when she said she was going to do my hair, I agreed to go with her. She rushed me out the house the next day. She called a taxi cab. Like he was a taxi cab that everybody in the house used. We used him so much we had a credit with this taxi guy. Like
mm,
if we didn't have the money, we could say, "Oh, my dad or my mom said put it on their credit." That was how it was for us. So she asked me to go the next day. She still didn't do my hair. She just told me brush my hair up in a ponytail and get it as nice as I could. Told me to get dressed. If she didn't like what I had on, you need to go take that shit off and put on something else. Okay, so I did. When we got in a taxi cab, we was I was in the back seat of the taxi with her, and I was asking. I was like, "Where are we going?" The more questions I asked, the angrier she got. So I just kind of shut down. At that time, I was like 13 years old. What am I going to do? Argue back with her, or keep asking questions and keep getting fuss at? So she was like, I'm grown. Stay out of my business. That's what I did. She's grown. I'm going to stay out of her business. Okay, so by the time we get to our destination,
mm-hmm,
the taxi driver said, You're here. The taxi driver was also very close with my father, but he
mm,
was doing the drop off, but I don't think he know where he was dropping off at. Okay,
Mm,
so when we get to this apartment complex, I knew that they never had anything good to say about this apartment complex. You know, when we get there, I asked, I said, what are we going here for? Didn't I, her words to me was, didn't I tell you I'm grown? Don't worry about where we're going. So
mm,
when we got into the house, when the woman answered the door, my mother said, hey, mom, I was really confused then because you're calling this lady mom, but me being a little girl at the time, I still haven't put two and two together. I still don't know that, this one plus one right here is really equaling two.
right.
When we got in the house, my mom immediately went up the stairs. She didn't tell me where to sit or anything. It was just kind of like, okay, she went on up the stairs. So when the lady was in there, I tried to ask the lady questions, but her phone rung. But I did get out of her. I said, how long my mom been coming here? She says, oh, she's been coming here for a while. She's in love with my son.
Mm.
And I'm like, my dad, wait,
You
wait.
was like 13. You was pretty young. You're not understanding this stuff.
No, I'm not understanding. All I know is that she's supposed to be loving my dad. I don't know what love is, but I think that's what it's supposed to be. I've heard about it. So I'm confused at that point. I'm really confused at that point. So finally, we go. I sat down, and the lady phone rings before I can ask her any more questions. Time had went by. Time had went by. I started crying because I knew that whatever was going on wasn't right, and I still couldn't say nothing about it because I might not get my hair done, or this might be the last hairdo I get for a while. So when my mom finally came down the stairs later on, I saw who was walking behind her. It
Mm-hmm.
was a friend of the family.
Stop right there. Put a sticker pin right there. Let me bring everyone up to speed. If you just came in, I want you guys to follow the story. She just gave me some background information, but we haven't gotten to the chunk of the whole thing as yet. She just explained that she was a very young girl, mother and father together, living together, and all of that stuff. As much as she know, they're in love. A family friend came along, a male family friend that knew the mother and the father, became very closer with the mother, right? And she just expressed one particular instant where they pick her, the mother took her and brought her into a house, a particular house. She later found out, well, when the lady told her that her mother is in love with her son. So that's where we are right now, guys. But listen, because we are getting to that point, right? We are getting to that point. So I want you guys to pay attention and listen, turn your volume up a bit, all right? Okay. So you were confused. You saying, but this is wrong. This looks wrong. Did your father even didn't even thought or knew of anything like that was happening?
My father worked a lot of hours. My father worked Monday through Friday. My father was just always gone. And after work, he would have him a beer or two hanging out with some of his friends. So during the time my father wasn't there was when she, did whatever she had to do. On the weekends, my father would go over to his mom's house, which is my lovely grandmother. He would go over there. So she would always act like me and her going shopping or something.
Right.
I'm gonna take Quinetta shopping, and she may come back with me a pair of pants or a shirt, or sometimes with nothing, and say she couldn't find anything in my size. My father thought that was suspicious because when they would get into their arguments, he would say stuff like that. He would say, you think you slick, and that went on and on for a while. My father, one thing she screamed now to this day is that my father was an alcoholic. True indeed. Did he drink a lot? Absolutely. Did that play a mental status in my life? Yeah, somewhat. But at the end of the day, my father was a good protector, provider, and a good father to me. So I can't say anything bad about my
Right.
father.
So let's get to the point where now you find out that she's getting overly interested in this particular man, this
Yes.
particular guy, going there over and over. When you went in the house, what did you observe as a little girl?
When I went into the house, I was confused. No one told me anything. And like I say, she told me to, shut up and don't ask her any more questions. So I didn't want to keep getting yelled at, or like I say, lose out on the chance of getting my hair done. These were the secrets my mother kept from my entire family. When people came around, and she just put on a whole nother front. When her and the guy would be under the same roof, I knew because I had been there a time or two that they were true indeed seeing each other. What they were doing upstairs for hours, I don't know. At that time, I was a little girl. But
Right.
I know, and seeing him still standing in my house, still lay on the couch, still laugh with my father, and I'm not being able to say nothing. I started like wondering, like, am I wrong? Am I right if I tell my father? Because she constantly reminded me that if I had told my father would act out. You know, he don't got good sense. You know, he retarded. If he do something crazy, he going to jail for the rest of his life. So she knew that that right there will cause me to keep my mouth closed.
So you were the cover up. So what happened to this man now? What happened to him after a period of time?
Okay, after a period of time, like I said, he was into the streets and drugs. He was into the streets and drugs bad. So he ended up getting locked up. How I knew that was because my mother best friend that stayed next door to us would take my mom to the prison to see him on the weekends. And guess who was chosen for that? I guess I was chosen for that too because once she got to the prison, once he got locked up, she started visiting him a lot. And she would ask me to go with her there too. I
Mhm.
guess now that I know how it works now, I guess back in the days you didn't have to be a person child to be on a visitation list, or even if it was a visitation list.
Right. How did your
But
mom prepare? How did your mom prepare herself to go to the prison? What you?
for for a while it looked at innocent. It looked at innocent, but I started wondering what the fondling at the table was about. So she noticed that I was seeing too much when we would go to the prison, so she would start making me get dressed in the room with her in the mornings before we go to the prison. And as she was getting dressed, I did notice that she would cut holes in the center of her pants and put them on without underwear. And that is what was going on at the table. She would get over there and let him fondle with her. Sometimes she would, sit on top of him and just be going up and down. And at that time, yeah, I'm young, but I'm not crazy. I've, snuck and seen some things on TV. So I know what's going on now. But he had been locked in with some of the guards there. So either they're going to watch out, or if it's a wrong guard on duty, then she would tell me, I want you to keep your face turned towards that way. Let us know if somebody is coming. So I became their watch guard. And then that had went on for a while. It got sickening to me in my stomach when she asked me to do it for other couples out there on the yard.
Hold on. Let me try to understand this, and let me kind of bring the audience up to speed what you're saying here. So your mom would basically bring you, tag you along, and for God knows why you have to be present to see all of that stuff. But nevertheless, your mom took you to the prison when she was going there, and you were able to witness she and the guy having sex, just like in
Yeah.
right in your purview, and you had to be as a lookout
Yes.
to alert them when the guard is coming.
Yes.
So why? How old was you at that time?
It was from the age of about 13 to 16. 16 was when I said I had enough.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay. Why she had to take you though? Why?
Because she knew how much because she knew I was the kid that was in the house that will fight for her love, that would do anything for her love. And it was easier to target me.
But you don't have to. She didn't have to take you there.
She didn't have to. She didn't have to. I asked myself over the years, why was I chosen? Why she took me? I did. I asked myself, why did I go? Why did I not tell? I did.
Yeah, but couldn't you say, "Mom, listen, I went 2 times. That I don't want to go no more. I don't want to see you having sex with somebody else. This is traumatizing to me." Couldn't you just say that and disobey that order and tell your father or leave or something?
No, because if I had said that, I would have been called more names. I would have been put down. I would have been actually drugged. I would have been, at that time, like I say, she knew of my music a little bit. I could never talk about music around her, and that was like my second passion. besides helping people, I love to help people. I used to help the old people around the neighborhood, the elderly people. I'm sorry for saying old people, elderly people, me and my brothers. So she knew that I liked the music. She knew that she would put all stops to that. Now, like I say, I wish I could have. I don't have the answers to why I didn't. I don't have the answers, but I know that yes, I do have an answer. The answer to why I didn't tell her is because she was gonna make up lies on me, or either she was gonna speed it down and it wasn't true. And by that time, she had already painted me as a liar, delusional. She had already went into everybody in the house when I wasn't around, told them that I was a liar, and if I ever anything I talk about was a lie, I was delusional. Don't believe anything I said. And my grandmother asked me one day, she said, "And what is your mother up to? Why she always calling you a liar and she's the only one that call you that?" And she said, "Yeah, I guess she's up to something." And it wasn't until like a year later I learned that that picture had to be painted of me for her to target me. So you see, if she's already tell everybody I'm a liar, I'm delusional, don't believe everything I say. So if I ever come back and tell this story, who's gonna believe it?
Yeah, but you didn't have. Uh, Listen, for I'm really trying to understand what would be in the mindset of your mom to willingly want to traumatize you like that by bringing you in that situation. No parent want their child to see them having sex.
Yeah, it
No
was
child,
horrible.
no child want to see their mother or anybody for that matter having that's an intimate moment. Even if she had to do that, why include you?
And I just, you know what, as I got older and as I started going through life, I started thinking like, what was her point of doing that? What was her motive? Why she couldn't just go alone and left me out of it? But I guess I had known too much already when she started taking me to the house. And I guess that I would be an easy target if she needed somebody to cover up. She needed somebody to watch out. What other kid would watch out for them on a prison yard other than hers that tried to be so attached to her, that looked up to her so much? That's just the saddest part of it. I look up to my mother. I loved my mother. I wanted to be like her. I wanted to look like her. I wanted to do everything like her. And she just turned out to be everything that I'm not.
Do you think that do you think that your mom disliked you?
I honestly think that, yeah, I think that I was just that child that just, you know, I just can remember her constantly telling me, you look just like your retarded A daddy. Everything was just like my daddy. So I guess she hated my daddy, but why she was with him, I don't know, because I don't think she ever loved my dad. I think she was with him for financial reasons, and he didn't have much, but he had enough to take care of all five of her children. So I think that she was just used to it. They got together at a very young age, and she didn't love him. She didn't want anything to do with him. And being as though, I reminded her so much of him, I guess I just got, the worst end of the deal.
Um, let's talk about your father because by now, I mean, he had to have known so many years this thing is happening. Um, did she get pregnant or anything? Anything? Did she come down with anything?
No, she didn't come down with anything. She didn't get pregnant. It just kind of went away with certain family members knowing about it. And one thing I will say, my father's incarcerated right now, behind something that my mother done. But he brought it up on the phone, one day when we was talking, and honest to God, he says, your mother used to be something back in the day, just like I heard she used to go down to this prison. And I don't know who she was going to see, but she used to go, and I cried and cried and cried after that conversation, because in that moment I still couldn't tell my father that over the phone while he's incarcerated. So
Wow.
he so apparently over the years after they were over and done, he had heard about it, and he still don't know that I was there.
Let me recap this. Q. 1 second. Let me talk to the audience a bit here, guys. You're hearing a story from this young lady Q, who is have to relive this situation over and over in her head. Imagine the reality, right? her mother tagging her along to a prison where she, as a daughter, have to act as lookout for prison officers while the mother is having sex with her boyfriend. And the daughter, who is Q, had to monitor, be on the lookout, while the mother sits there with a hole in her pants to ensure that the mother don't get caught. Now, it's crazy, yeah? I understand. Now, think about the mental state that anybody would be in to go through that process, to seeing that, right? I want to find out from Q about that. How did this affect you over time?
I went through depression. I went through anxiety. I was angry. I started acting out because I wanted to just flip out at one point until I screamed out exactly what was going on. I wanted somebody to see that this was going on with me. I don't understand how nobody saw it, but my mother was so great at what she was doing. She was so great at it. Man, that woman had her way with doing things. When family came over to the house, she knew how to put us well together. And, she had that saying, don't tote no damn news out of my house. Excuse my language, you guys. But, we knew not to say anything that was going on, let alone, what I had experienced and endured with her. So I wasn't going to tell anybody. Who was going to believe me? I was a child going against my mother. I was already made a liar before I knew about it. She had already told everybody I was a liar, not to believe me. And once I knew that, I definitely wasn't going to say anything. Like I say, I did it for years. But once I got tired. I got tired, and it was when she came at me from another angle. When she found out that I was sneaking out of the window to the studio. She ended up going to the studio with me one night without telling my father. But we did a photo shoot. We did a for our album cover because I was really into music back then. And she signed the papers for me to do the photos downtown and everything. But when we got back in the taxi, this is at the age of 16, I said, can I go to my cousin's house? And it's just because I wanted to celebrate with my favorite cousin that, I had just took some photos. Like my music is taking off. So nobody around town had ever really knew about me singing or anything like that unless my brother had spread the word or somebody in my household had did it, because my father was very strict and overprotected. So we wasn't able to go out and just hang around anybody's house and do things that all the kids did. He was very, very, very overprotected until it was sickening too. But I thank God now that I look back. But when after the photo shoot and we got into the taxi, she says I couldn't go to my cousin's house after she had promised me on the way there that I couldn't. I asked her why. When she looked at me and said, "Because I want you to do something for me." I already knew what it was, and I told her, I said, "I don't want to." And I never did it again.
Mm.
And her abuse towards me got worse, got worse, got worse. When I said no, she came at me stronger throughout life. She done told everybody everything, so much horrible things about me that I can't even believe that she would say things that has never happened. I can take a lie to take the test on. I've already reached out to take a lie to take the test because the things that she has done to my name and my character since I said no has been horrific to me. My life, it was horrible. So after the abuse got worse, like a year later, my dad took me to the flea market with him, the local flea market with him, and I had lost so much weight for not eating. I was underweight. So I passed out at the flea market. I ended up at the hospital, and when we got to the hospital, my dad, of course, he contacted my mom. She came up to the hospital, and she decided she wants to talk to the doctor alone. Like maybe she'll talk to me and find out why she's passing out. She asked my dad to leave out of the room, and my dad brought this up a couple weeks ago on the phone because he called me just about every day. And that was another thing that I was like, "You remember?" And I just told him the truth because it's in my book. So I told him the truth. So
I want to talk about that transitional point that you went through and the decision that you had to make. It was either you go crazy, you kill somebody, or you write about it. Tell us that junction and the decision that you had to make and why you made the decision that you did.
This was later on, after I had attempted suicide at the age of 17. I took some pills, and that goes back to say that's how I passed out at the flea market. I was underweight. I had took some pills, and I wanted to end it because I felt like my story was never going to get out. No one was never going to believe me. I was hurt, and I was filled with so much anger because I love my daddy so much, and I feel like I betrayed him. So um, I said it was just time for me to just end all my pain, and that's what I thought I wanted to do then. So I took the pills, and like I said, I passed out at the flea market when we got back. When we got to the hospital, and my mom had sent my father out of the room, she had them put me on the psych floor.
Mm,
She told my father that I had a mental issue, but she never told my father that they pumped my stomach. She never told him that they pumped my stomach. He had left the hospital to go do something and came back later on. They had pumped my stomach, and she knew that if he had known they pumped my stomach, he would have had questions. So he never knew that story
right,
until recently.
right. So you decided to overcome all of this. How?
I tried 2 years later. I moved away, came here. Silly me, I was still reaching out to my mom. you know, still trying to do things for her, and she started using me financially, like really bad. It got so bad I had family members calling me, and like she started like using me financially really bad, and I was letting her because at that point she was like wanting to talk, and she'll keep me on the phone, and she made me felt like she loved me at least a little bit. So it just got so bad, and then how I overcome it. I'm gonna skip a couple of chapters because if I tell you the whole story, then I'll be telling everything.
Yeah.
So later on in life, her abuse had got so horrible. Even in my adult years, I attempted suicide again. This is when I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not a drinker. I saw my father drink, so I went to the liquor store myself and purchased a bottle of liquor at that time, and drunk darn it a whole bottle.
Mm,
Then I had a gun at the time. I loaded the gun, and I called her first to talk to her and see if she'll say she was sorry for what she put me through because more had happened after that. So I called her at first and told her, I said, I want to talk to you about something. I said, I think I'm going through depression. And I knew I was going through depression because at that point I was on all type of depression and anxiety medication. The doctors had done tried me on at least 15 different kinds. I was on blood pressure medication. I was, by the time I kept going back from her, the stuff that she was doing to me, and she would text me these mean, evil texts calling me out my name when I couldn't give her the money. And I didn't want to keep hearing that and going through that. So I would send her money. And I just wanted the name calling to stop, the mean texts to stop, the discrediting me to stop, the belittling me to stop. I wanted it to stop because it was just playing over and over when I was little. So I just wanted it to stop. I would send her a few dollars here and there. But when I couldn't do it, she would definitely just go harder at me. And that was the time I called her and I told her, I need to talk to you about, my whole life period. She was at a card game, and I said, can you step aside? And she said, girl, I'm playing cards right now. I don't got time for that. You always got something going on. What's going on now? Let me guess, you're sick again. When she said you're sick again, I really got sick because I was sick behind everything she had put me through. That's the kind of sick I was dealing with. My mental wasn't there. My emotions was all over the place. I was taking medicine to go to sleep. I was taking medicine to get up. That is what my life was like. I started walking like a zombie. I was on so much medication so that I wouldn't shake, so that I won't be nervous around men, so that I wouldn't, I stopped trusting the world. There was nobody that could come near me. I raised my children. My children right now to this day are young adults and don't trust nobody.
wow.
Won't go around nobody.
So you stood there with the gun,
And I
speaking.
called her. And
Yeah.
I told her, I said all that to get back to this story. And I told her, I said, I don't know if I want to be here anymore. I don't know if there's a place for me anymore here. She said she was at a card game and what, you sick now? Let me guess, you sick now? And I said, that's not it. Can we talk? She said, girl, I said, I just feel like killing myself. She said, well, one thing about a person who's going to commit suicide, they're not going to talk about it. And she hung up. And I went back in the room and looked at my sons in their bed. And I knew I couldn't do it. I knew I couldn't do it. Now that was my last attempt. So my next choice was to, you know, you do that. Suicide was out the window for me. I had decided I can't do that. I got kids here. I can't do that. Who's gonna take care of my kids? If I'm getting it this bad, then what are they gonna do to my kids? They're gonna eat my kids alive, and I can't leave them out here like that by themselves. That is the thoughts that was going through my head. That if I had it that bad, then what they would get would be extremely worse because she hated me so much.
Mm-hmm.
So suicide was out the window after that. That was the third attempt.
Wow.
So my three strikes, I wasn't out. I'm still here. So my next choices was let it run me insane or just put down my feelings on paper. And that is how I became the author of my own story versus what anybody tell you. She has painted this horrible picture of me my entire life to cover up her tracks. And all I did was sat back, I took it. I was her doormat. I waddled in it. Everything she said and done to me, my older sister used to ask me, why don't you confront her about this? Because I was there. And, I would have people come back and tell me they was there when she did it. It went on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Her abuse went on and on and on, right? And I never said anything. I might have asked her about it once or twice and got cursed out like a dog. And when she would hang up, she would send my little sister to attack me, call me out my name, call my children's name. And I just still sat there. And that is when my writing became my best friend. And that is how I became an author.
Wow. I think people misunderstand what how things impact children. You know what I mean? Because this whole scenario of your mom taking you along this journey changed your entire life, and I'm sure I should ask you, how did it affect you personally, like forming relationship and finding love and finding someone and being in steady relationship? How did it affect you then?
I couldn't. Every relationship I was in was toxic until I met my husband now. Every relationship. I was even in relationships with to where men knew what she was doing to me. They witnessed it. They saw the text message. They heard the abuse, the name calling, to where they would tell me, "What you gonna do? Your own D mama don't love you."
Yeah. You told
You
me
know,
something. You told me something earlier too. Sorry to cut you, but I want to get that. I want to get you on record with this piece here, where you think that your mom was actually dating your boyfriend.
I had heard later on. I had heard later on. This was after I was done with my book and everything. I was done, and I had heard from somebody that's pretty reliable that some of the incidents that took place in my life back then with my kid's father and some of the things that we went through, my mother had kept him up to date on everything, and I just was it was weird how he knew a lot of things, a lot of places I was at where he shouldn't know. And later on, I kind of learned that she was the one telling him that. Now I look back, and after I heard what I recently heard was that she had relations with him. Now, do I have proof of that? No.
Okay, so
Have I
it's
existed? No.
allegation. Let's not go deep into the allegation. But we have
Right.
a question here from February Moon. She's saying the question is, did your mom get a chance to read the book? What did she, or what was her reaction?
My mother has not read the book, but the attack is on now. My mother has not even read the book, and the attack is back on.
When you say the attack is on, what you mean?
I'm getting threats. I'm getting threats right now to this day because of this book. I'm not gonna not sit on a platform to stop this type of abuse because someone is threatening to harm me. Because the damage to me has already been done. So I refuse to shut up now. I think I've been quiet long enough. So yeah, right now to this day, I recently got my threats. I recently got my threats that, you're gonna come over here and do whatever you're gonna do to me because I should have kept my mouth closed. That is what my threat said. And I wasn't supposed to see my threat because the person that it was sent to wanted to protect me and not let me see it. I stumbled across that threat myself. And that was like the most hurtful thing that I could get from a very close family member who don't even know my story. You're threatening me, but this is my real story.
Yeah, like your
And
story.
no one never asked me. No one never asked me, is anything true? Did anything happen? What is wrong with you? Why do you act the way? No one asked me. They always automatically, oh, we heard you this, and you automatically attack me, call me all types of names, and now the threats are here. Now the threats are here.
Yeah, yeah. Let's open up the phone lines because I know that a lot of our viewers want to talk to you a bit because this story is really crazy from beginning to end. I don't know how anyone feel about this, but I think that that's the most traumatic part of it because you are there and you seeing this and you leaving this stuff and you said that the guy sometimes he's in the act of it and he's looking at you and you guys seeing each other and you just there. That's traumatizing enough so I could understand what happened or transpired after. So let's open up the phone lines right now. 718-701-5720. We're speaking to Q, who now has a book and she's detailing her life and what happened after her mom is taking her through this time in times in her life at a very early age, exposing her to this stuff. Worse yet, she's witnessing her mom having sex, and she's the one that have to run lookout for her mom. Now it affected her life so much so that she made very bad decisions as it relates to men and just very bad relationship decisions. She decided to not let it control her or damage her more so than it did before, but instead she decided to write a book on it, author a book on it, and she's telling us about it. Tell us while we wait on this call. Tell us where could we find the book, and tell us more information about the literature.
My book is on Amazon. So it is on Amazon. You can get it on the Kindle or you can just buy it. The title of the book is Targeted at Birth by Quinetta Davis. Again, the title of the book is Targeted at Birth by Quinetta Davis. This book is about a Black African American female who had high hopes and dreams in being somebody. And a lot of things kind of shattered that. And it led her down a very dark path of planning out her own death. And you have to read it to see everything that she had to go through to get to where she is today.
Yes.
It was a long, hard walk. I can't say it was a downhill battle because for me it was an uphill battle because I'm still here.
Yes. Edlin Erlin wants to find out how is the relationship between you and your husband.
Me and my husband have the most amazing relationship. When I first met my husband, I kept questioning him, when he first wanted to marry me. Why you want to marry me? I got so much going on. I'm broken. It's going to take a lot to repair me. And he never gave up. And even coming into my life with children that was already, further up in age, and him only having one daughter, I was skeptical about a lot of things. And I knew that I wasn't whole, but he gave me time to get whole. He allowed me to cry as much as I want to, scream, pull my hair out if I wanted to. And he's never turned his back on me. He's never turned his back on me. He's always been in my corner. He supported me. He's let me cry on his shoulder. I don't care what, he'll leave work early if I'm having a bad day. My husband is like one of my biggest supporters.
Yeah. This is a copy of the book. You guys can get it on Amazon. It details her story, or in-depth story as to what transpired, what happened to her, um, which I mean, very traumatic, and it's all included in this book right here. You can check it out again on Amazon. Give them the information on Amazon again where they could pick it up. We have the picture up on the screen.
You can just, it's on Amazon.com. You can just go on Amazon. You can do the Kindle download, or you can just download the whole copy. Uh, it is on there for $9.99 for the Kindle and $19.99 for the hardback book. The title of the book is Targeted at Birth. The author is Quinetta Davis, myself.
All right, guys, that's it right here. Still open to the phone lines if you guys want to call and speak to Quinetta on any part of her story right here. Traumatic, traumatic, traumatic. I see someone ask about your father, but I believe that you said that you and your father is incarcerated at the moment,
Yes,
and you guys do have a good relationship at present.
I love
Uh,
my mother.
and your mother is still alive.
Yes.
And how is the relationship between both of them? I know he's in prison right now, but are they in communication?
My father has been disgusted with my mother for years. He'll speak to her because she is the mother of his kids. But that's just about it. He respects her because she's the mother of his kids. He doesn't talk down on her, but she has a whole lot to say about him. Sometimes he gets so frustrated, he does. He brings up the past and he says how he feel about it. But my father has always been in my corner.
Yeah. Okay. Again, guys, this is Quinetta, and this is her book. She authored this book because I think she had multiple decisions to make, and she decided to make this one because the other decisions that she could have possibly made would have been devastating, very destructive. So she decided to author this book right here. Again, we're going to open up the phone lines and keep the phone lines open just for a little bit while, a little longer. If you guys want to call in, the number that you call 718-701-5720. Quinetta discussing her book. Quinetta, anything else you wanted to add? Because I know you had a court date today. You're doing a whole lot. Anything else you wanted to add on what is happening right now because of all of this?
Um, I was already disconnected. One thing I will say is that me and my brother, my only brother left, we had a good relationship. Me and my brother was pretty close. My brother and I had so many talks. We had so many talks. We talk about my mother together. My brother wasn't speaking to my mother for so many years because of the same type of treatment. And she said she felt like the wrong son had died. And my brother wasn't speaking to her, and it was me who kind of encouraged him that, come on, we only got one mom, but still holding my secrets, still covering for her, still protecting her. But I still wanted him to still talk to her because I wanted to still talk to her. I'm the type of kid, I believe in family. I'm family oriented. I spend a lot of times with my kids and my husband family. We do things almost every weekend and whenever we can. So I wanted him to have a relationship with his mother because I was still fighting for one. And if I could see that she at least loved one of us to death, it would have given me some hope. But I ain't had no hope. I'm gonna be honest, I ain't had no hope. And our relationship now is, people ask me every day, do you want a relationship with your mother? No, no, because I'll be 40 years old tomorrow. That's half of 80. And for 40 years of my life, I have suffered. So, no, I don't want a relationship with her. I wish her the best. I love her because she's my mother. I don't ever want anything to happen to her. I pray God have mercy on her soul. And that's all I got for her.
And Evelyn also wants to find out about the kids. Have you spoken to them about your past, and do they have a relationship with your mom?
My kids don't have no relationship with my mom. My mother couldn't tell you my kid's middle name. My mother couldn't tell you my kid's date of birth. My mother, no, my mother treat my kids the same way she treat me. It was just like she hated me so much that she always had something negative to say about my kids, or looked at them in a funny way when they came around, or told people that her own kids don't even like her. Those are things that you just can't come back from. When she told people, and my kids don't want a relationship with her because they've heard themselves through social media and other people how my mother talks about them. So the abuse went on and on and on, but I stand in
Yeah.
front of mine. I stand in front of mine, and it stops here. It stops here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Quinetta, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. We appreciate this, and we hope, and I still do think that you may want to go through some counseling, advanced
I
counseling, because
I just started. I just started. I
okay.
haven't even had my first session yet, but I'm so ready. I'm
That's
so
good.
ready because believe it or not, the two shows, Miss Chantel Evans and Jacob Anderson, was the first time I was able to get all of this off my chest in my entire life. I had never sat down and talked to anyone and just gave them my whole entire story. I had never called and gave anyone my whole entire story. So this is the first time I was able to open up about it, and man, it feels great. It feels great. Right
Yeah.
now, when I cry so many tears of joy. I remember I go to sleep crying, waking up crying. My eyes be so puffy I can't face my kids. And I did that for so many years. But now when they see me cry, they be like, Mom, why are you crying? I be like, I'm just happy. Because
Wow.
for me, it's over. It's over. I'm good now. I'm in a good headspace. I'm comfortable in my own skin. I feel great about what I've been through. Because if I hadn't been through what I've been through, I wouldn't be as strong as I am. So
Yeah.
now I can stand up for every little girl. It doesn't matter what color. I can stand up for every little girl that's going through this type of situation and let them know how I overcame it. But I can also let them know what it's going to do to you. You don't want to go as far as I did, because right now, to this day, I take medication that the doctors promised me I will be on 6 months, and it's 15 years later.
Wow. Okay, listen, we'll keep in touch with you to find out the progress of your therapy and also the sale of the book. Again, we're going to encourage everyone to go out and pick up the book. It's on Amazon. You could get it. The information is also shared on our page and on the link there as well. Q, thank you so much for linking with us. Thank you for chatting with us. And we're going to keep in touch with you to
All
find out the
right.
progress. We appreciate
Thank
you.
you. It was a pleasure. And anytime you want to talk to me about anything, I'm here. My story is available all over the world. I'm just ready to lift my voice and help lift others.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
You
All
gotta
right.
be firm in this time, son. You gotta be strong
Yeah.
this time, son.
There's a saying, right, that hurt people, right? But we have to change that trajectory, change that analogy a bit. How about hurt people help people? Because if you went through the hurt, right, then you could use that knowledge of the hurt to help others. So it's not always hurt people hurt people. A lot of the times it happens, I know. But hurt people could also help people. What she's doing right now, she went through something that is traumatic. Some mothers, there is a percentage of them, because in this world there is good, there is bad, there is piece of everything under the face of this earth. She might be had to have gone through her own trauma in her life. Her mother has her story to tell all by herself. And you might be surprised what got the mother to the point where she is, where she have, I mean, as far as what the daughter see, that nonchalant attitude about life and her kids, and why she got like that. She probably followed and is going through the first analogy where hurt people. But her daughter is rewriting that narrative. Hurt people help people. Because she went to the hurt, she went to the pain, she went to the trauma, and now she's speaking out, she's writing a book, and she's helping people go forward. All right. Now, right along is a platform, as we said, and as you guys already know, where everyone have a story to tell. Trust me, every time around this time, I get allergies. I don't know why, there's a certain breeze that does blow. But anyway, Ride Along is a platform where everyone have a story to tell, and that means everyone. There are people who have stories that just inside of them dread, and they're just holding on to it. You don't have to come on Ride Along or talk about it on a public platform, but we encourage you to share your story, confide in someone. If it become to a point where you might need counseling, talk about it, and you will see the massive change, the lift that you're gonna get. Yeah, when you share your story, it's like you take away a whole 20 pounds that was tied to your foot. You get a lift, and we hear that all the time. There are many people that come on and talk and share their stories. At the end of the show, they say, "Yeah, I feel like I needed to do this," because you are helping people. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for being a part of our program. Ride Along Live, where everyone have a story to tell. Don't forget, we're going to invite you to pick up this book, this hard book, and it's available on Amazon, so you guys could pick it up and support. All right. Tomorrow, let me tell you guys what we have tomorrow for you. But before I tell you what's going on tomorrow, I got to tell you about this. We have Ariza Credit Union. Ariza is going to be in New York. Ariza say hello, New York. They're going to be in New York on July 18th at Seaview Park, Brooklyn, New York, to facilitate general queries. They're here to also facilitate new membership if you want to sign up with Ariza in New York, small business deposit, new products, and a whole lot more. All right, that's Ariza in New York City. Guys, don't forget that when you come and bring 2 pieces of ID, you got to come with your ID at $75 and also a bank stub or statement, okay? Ariza, check it out, guys, check it out. Ariza is going to be in NYC, all right? Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can hold me sick. I will not allow negativity. Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can. Also, guys, just show me some strength. No weakness. Don't forget that we're asking our true diehard supporters. Even if you're not a true diehard supporter, you're just a diehard supporter, or just a supporter, or a fan, or a viewer, or a sharer, whatever you are. I want you to subscribe to us on YouTube. Yeah, man. Subscribe to us on YouTube to keep engaged with all of our programming right there. The YouTube link is pasted at the bottom right there. Go ahead and support. Subscribe and hit the bell so when we go live, you could watch us on YouTube, because we're going to move all of our programming over to YouTube. We want to get everybody out there. I keep saying it because I want you guys to do it. I ain't just saying it because I want to talk. I want you guys to subscribe to us over there on YouTube. Okay. Also, guys, if you love Ride Along and you want to see us grow, you want to see this platform grow, you want to pay ahead, you want to help people, you want to be a part of the movement, the support group, the supporters of Ride Along, you could support. Yeah, you could make a small donation to ensure that this program continue. We're engaged in a lot of activities, as you could imagine. We help folks that are that needs assistance. Just last week, we had our entrepreneur program where we donated over $2,000, 2,000 US dollars, to help entrepreneurs. We had 3 winners, and they're taking their business to the next level. We also had events where we give back. We had ham, we have grocery, so much things we do to empower the community. So that we could continue to do that, we need your help. So make a small donation. The link is pasted somewhere at the bottom there. Click that link and make a donation, whatever it is, $5, $2, 25 cents. It doesn't matter. Whatever donation you give, one cocoa full of basket, it will help us help the community. And it's for you, it's like paying it forward, because when you help us, we will be in a position to help you if you ever need us to be there for you, and you know we will. All right. Thank you to our producer Lois JJ. We appreciate you. To our moderators, we have Lynn, and we have Deanne Fraser, we have Kibbs, we have Gail, and everyone who shared the program. We thank you so much. All of our supporters, all of our loyal viewers, Lydia James, Lydia Joseph, Kibbs, Lacey J, Glenda, Jenny, Everybody. Thank you so much. Tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow. This is what we have tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a date right here. This man was accused of fondling a child. However, he was vindicated. Yeah, by the same said person who accused him in the first place. Tomorrow, the young man is on the program to share his story. There's a lot of twists and turns to this, so you don't want to miss it. Tomorrow, right here, 6 p.m. We got a date. Don't be late. Peace out, guys. Peace out, guys. Thank you so much. Also, guys, I gotta say this before I go. We are gonna be doing some new project, right? We are gonna be doing some short films, ride along story short films, and we have a first film that we're gonna be shooting in 2 weeks, and we need of some actors and actresses. So if you are an aspiring actor, an actress, it's a paid gig. It's a little something. We ain't paying Hollywood kind of money, but if you are chosen, it's a little paid gig, and you would also be a part of sharing stories. It's a very exciting project for us, and we want to bring out that talent. So we're starting our film, a series of short films that's going to be done here in New York. So you have to be based here in New York or available to come to New York. For the first couple, I'm going to be putting out some auditions, but we need some actresses. I even need a 5-year-old, 6-year-old actress. So if anyone have access to a 5-year-old, 6-year-old actress, we're looking for someone to play a very important that we were on the first short film that we're working on. So guys, let me know. Inbox us if you have aspiration. You could be on our list of actors and actresses. Very serious project. Very, very serious project. I want you guys to be a part. I'm telling you guys first because you guys are a part of the family. We're going to put it out there within tomorrow, so we know we're going to get a lot of people, but I'm going to give you guys first dibs at this, all right? Okay? Gail say I'm an aspiring actress. Where can I apply? Yeah, Gail. Just inbox me. Just inbox me, Gail. All right? Just inbox me. And if anyone know, we have an audition out for a 5 or 6-year-old actress to play this very important role in our first short film. So, if you know of one, inbox us because we want to start the audition coming up very, very soon. Okay. On the behalf again of my producer Lois JJ, thank you so much. Deanne Frita, Gail, Gibbs, and all of our moderating team, production producers. I'm Junior George. Catch me tomorrow. Peace out. Bye-bye. That simple means say nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can hold me sick. I will not allow negativity. Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can. Yo, just show me some strength. No weakness. Show me a lion tongue. Strength. No weakness. Show them who we are. Strength. No weakness. Show me a lion tongue. Everybody strength. No weakness. Show them who we are. That when you roll, your enemies they must tremble. Your enemies they must tremble. Yo, that when you roll, everything has to humble. Everything has to humble. Right.
Welcome to TD Bank, where you'll find the personalized attention you deserve and the legendary experience you expect. Let's do business. If you are a medical or dental practitioner, contact me to hear about our tailored lending solutions for residential mortgages, equipment purchases, practice-related commercial mortgages and refinance. Visit me at 500 Baychester Avenue to hear more about our full range of personal and small business banking solutions. See you soon.
Feeling hungry, grab a snack.